This, my friends, is the circle of no trust. It's where the most powerful people in the world go when they've burned every bridge, betrayed every ally, and run out of political lives to spare. Basically, careers end here.
It's over! It's over, ladies and gentlemen!
Anthony Weiner was the guy in the early 2010s for American politics. Sharp debater, rising Democratic star, big ambitions. People were talking about him as a possible future New York mayor, maybe even president someday. Then came the selfie.
A photo of an anonymous man's bulging underwear
was tweeted from Congressman Weiner's account.
At first, he claimed he'd been hacked, which was plausible, until more images started surfacing. Turns out the man had been sending inappropriate pictures to multiple women, while married to Huma Abedin, a top aide to Hillary Clinton. He resigned in disgrace, only to try a political comeback in 2013. And somehow, he did it again. More pictures, more headlines, more late-night jokes.
Anthony Weiner's penis. Yes, I kept that in as long as I could. Just like Anthony Weiner.
He did it again!
He said, throughout this experience, I've really grown, and if you don't believe me, I'll send you a picture.
A fun fact there, the campaign trail is what Anthony Weiner calls that line of hair from his belly button to his pubes.
His career ended permanently after an FBI investigation into sexting with a minor, which bought him 21 months in prison and a one-way ticket into the circle of no trust. Politics is a dangerous game. One wrong move, one bad headline, and your career can go from world leader to going on a book tour at Costco's. Speaking of bad moves, Boris Johnson, the British discount version of Donald Trump. Same messy blonde hair, same chaotic energy, but with a posh accent and a love for tea. Boris climbed the political ladder on charm, bluster, and the ability to make every scandal sound like a silly misunderstanding. But then came Partygate. The UK was under strict COVID lockdown, the kind of lockdown where funerals were banned, families were separated, and small businesses dying. But Boris? Oh, Boris was busy. Wine bottles, party games, and zero social distancing. At first, he denied it. Then, he redefined what a party even meant. Apparently in Borisland, if there's work talk over wine and cake, it's just a...
I believed implicitly that this was a work event, a work event.
On Friday night, you recognize it, I suppose.
I went home. Hold on.
The British public wasn't buying it. The trust was gone. His own party turned on him. The media, which had long treated Boris like a lovable rogue, turned him into political roadkill. Even the police fined him.
Let me say immediately that I've paid the fine.
Do you know how dumb you gotta be for the police to write up the prime minister? By the time he resigned in 2022, Boris had gone from Brexit hero to political liability, a walking meme who proved that charisma can only carry you so far, before it carries you straight into the circle of no trust. But just when you thought Britain had reached peak political chaos, enter Liz Truss, the sequel nobody asked for. If Boris was the hangover, Liz Truss was the food poisoning that followed. Her time as prime minister was so short, a head of lettuce outlasted her, literally. The Daily Star live-streamed a lettuce to see if it would stay fresh longer than her premiership. And the lettuce won by a landslide. Truss came into office in September 2022 with big promises: slash taxes, supercharge the economy, unleash Britain's full potential.
We need to put our money where our mouth is.
What she actually unleashed was market chaos. Her mini budget, which wasn't mini in consequences, triggered a financial meltdown so bad, the pound hit historic lows, mortgage rates spiked, and the Bank of England had to step in to save pensions. Investors panicked. The press roasted her daily.
The UK government is on life support. How long can PM Liz Truss hold on?
Hi, I'm Paul Barry, and Liz Truss is in trouble again.
And this was all happening in week 2.
That's terrible.
By week 4, cabinet ministers were resigning faster than she could replace them. By week 6, her political authority was gone. And by week 7, she was out of here, making her the shortest-serving prime minister in UK history at just 44 days. Her downfall wasn't just about bad policy. It was about arrogance. She came in swinging, and she came in missing. But hey, gotta give her props for being one of the few politicians to know when to put the bat down. Now, Liz Truss will forever be a trivia question and a permanent member of the circle of no trust, right next to Boris, proving that sometimes the only thing shorter than a lettuce's shelf life is a political career. Liz may have crashed the British economy, but this next guy, he bended reality. Enter America's greatest catfish, George Santos. This guy didn't just lie. He built an entire multiverse. He told people he was Jewish. Well, then made a little correction.
What is your Jewish story, and what do you bring from that to Congress?
Well, look, as I always joke, I'm Jewish, right?
He claimed his mom died on September 11th. And then, somehow, again years later, he bragged about being a star volleyball player at Baruch College. And of course, he never even went there. Santos basically turned his resume into a Marvel script. Finance executive, elite athlete, descendant of Holocaust survivors, animal rescuer, even claimed to be a Broadway producer for Spider-Man. But here's the best part. He actually got elected.
I know that a lot of people want to create this narrative that I faked my way to Congress, which is absolutely, categorically false. I've worked hard. I've built ground up a career through experience and through knowledge and through self-education.
He walked into Congress like a walking improv skit, and for a solid year, America had a professional scammer writing laws. His entire career was basically the political version of Catch Me If You Can, and the scandals kept piling up. Campaign funds mysteriously going to Botox and OnlyFans, dog charities that never existed, fake checks in Brazil. It's like every week was a new Netflix docuseries waiting to happen. George Santos didn't just expose himself. He exposed how broken American politics really is. Because if a guy can lie about literally everything and still get voted in, maybe the joke isn't on Santos. Maybe the joke's on us.
What the you can do with an aluminum tube?
But speaking of jokes,
I've always been a soft guy. I am the love gov. I'm a cool dude in a loose mood. You know that. I just say let it go. Just go with the flow, baby. You know.
Ah, yes, Andrew Cuomo. For about 5 minutes in 2020, he was America's sweetheart. The tough New Yorker giving daily press conferences, calm but fiery, looking like the one adult in the room while the world was falling apart. He even won an Emmy Award for his COVID briefings. An Emmy for PowerPoints.
Practice humanity.
But the thing about power, it doesn't just test you, it exposes you. Because behind the polished speeches, Cuomo's administration was busy covering up nursing home deaths, fudging the numbers to protect his reputation. And then came the avalanche of sexual harassment allegations. Multiple women, including staffers, accusing him of inappropriate behavior. Cuomo denied it all, of course. But let's be honest. This was the nail in the coffin. One moment he was writing a book about leadership in crisis, and the next moment he was resigning in disgrace, shoved right into the circle of no trust. But wait, he's back?
Hello, I'm Andrew Cuomo. Let me start by telling you what you already know. New York City is the greatest city in the world. And I believe I can help. And that is why I announced my candidacy today for mayor of New York City.
So let me get this straight. You went from running the state of New York to wanting to run the city of New York? Well, let's see how this plays out.
Yeah, well, Mike, the mood is about what you would expect. The Cuomo team is shell-shocked tonight. The former governor came out, spoke for less than 5 minutes, conceded the Democratic primary.
You see, this is proof that once you enter the circle of no trust, there's no demotion low enough to save you.
Now to our top story. Former Governor Andrew Cuomo is keeping his mayoral hopes alive. He will announce that he is staying in the race despite losing the Democratic primary by 12 points. Sources confirmed to Pix 11 that Cuomo will campaign as an independent in the general election.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
I love the young people.
No one loves to hold on to power more than a politician. And nobody clung tighter than Richard Nixon. Nixon had already lost the presidency once, lost a governor's race, and famously told reporters,
"You don't have Nixon to kick around anymore."
But like a true politician, he came back. And this time, he actually won. Big. By 1972, Nixon wasn't just president. He was cruising toward one of the largest landslides in American history. The man was untouchable. And yet, for some reason, Nixon and his crew acted like they were fighting for their lives. Instead of enjoying his power, Nixon ran his White House like a paranoid bunker. He created an enemies list so ridiculous it included reporters, actors, and even the Washington Post's publisher. He bugged phones, ordered break-ins. He basically ran the Oval Office like Kim Jong-un.
We're talking about aura. You're talking about aura.
Let me tell you something, when he walked through.
Just aura, that's it.
Everything
just aura.
changed.
Yeah.
Then came Watergate. A group of burglars tied directly to Nixon's campaign got caught breaking into Democratic headquarters. And instead of cutting them loose, Nixon panicked and tried to cover it up with tape recordings of himself literally admitting to the cover-up. You couldn't write a dumber script. Nixon didn't get taken down by Democrats. He got taken down by Richard Nixon. But no politician embodies the phrase, "You can't make this up," quite like Marion Barry. The man went from being called a civil rights hero to a viral sensation before the internet even existed. He was the mayor of Washington, D.C., but half the time, it felt like he was auditioning for an episode of Cops. Let's run the highlight reel. He survived being shot by a terrorist group in his office. I know that sounds like a line straight out of an action movie. But yes, it actually happened. He was literally caught on FBI camera smoking crack in a hotel room with a mistress. And when the agents burst in, he shouted his immortal defense,
"Oh, fuck."
Well, not quite. He actually screamed setup from the mistress. And here's the thing. After 6 months in prison, the man got reelected mayor? Like DC voters looked at the rap sheet and went, yeah, but at least he's entertaining. If Nixon taught us that paranoia can end a presidency, Marion Barry proved that crack cocaine can jumpstart a political comeback. He wasn't just scandal-proof, he was scandal-powered. Marion Barry is the final boss of corrupt politicians. Everyone else resigns in shame. He comes back stronger, like a political supervillain who levels up every time he gets caught. So let's be honest. In the circle of no trust, he doesn't just belong there, he runs the place.
In fact, they were trying to kill me because they had a paramedic come into the room at the same time.
What were you smoking? You thought it was crack cocaine? I mean,
I don't know what it was smoking. I never smoked crack, so I don't know what it was.
You know, they just bought crack from crack dealers, and you were smoking it, and you didn't know what it was.
No,
right, listen, I don't want to relitigate.
You listen to me, Gerardo. Stop this bullshit.
I don't want to relitigate.